The L-sit isn't just some kind of flex exercise, it's unreal for your hip flexors and your abs. I put out a video last week of the L-sit to shoulder stand, and then I realized most people don't know how to do the L-sit. So let's break that down today. The L-sit, which I thought was gonna be pretty smooth for everyone, turns out is not. So we're just gonna break it down step-by-step process, just building it up so that way you can get a smooth L-sit, which then we'll be able to progress into the shoulder stand. I've got a video for that. If you look like this and just can't seem to get your legs off the ground, it could be the positioning on the bar, or you're just not strong enough in the hip flexors. Let's start with the positioning. We don't want to be leaning forward. If we're leaning forward, the legs get real heavy. So when we straight arms here, we lean back, and now this gives me all the room to lift my legs up. Now, if we can't lift up, it's your hip flexors. What I want you to focus on then, if it is your hip flexors, the first one is just gonna be a single leg lift off. Now we can get some reps here, or we can do some holds. And now I point my toes forward because when I do get to here, in the proper L-sit, I lock my quads out and push my toes forward for maximum tension. So while we're doing the progressions, we may as well have that good form. Cool. The next thing we can do is we're gonna go to the bar and we're gonna do some hanging knee raises. We're just gonna start with bent knees and we're just gonna hold. Now we could get some reps here, which will start working your core more, but we wanna hold because that's what we're trying to get with the L-sit. Once this is comfortable, we can start having some fun, stretching one leg out and bringing the other one in. This is gonna make it noticeably harder on your hip flexors and your core. Once we got the hanging knee raise, we go into the straight leg raise. So same concept, we're gonna point our toes like we would on the L-sit, and we lift them up, and we fall back down. Now, we don't just fall, we lower. That's gonna get the core working and the hip flexors. Now, we can build this up to a hanging L-sit. Once you get real good at this, pull up with an L-sit is a lot of fun, and we can really just expand from here. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a fucking dip fiend. Obviously, one of the components with the L-sit, we need to have straight arm lockout strength. So we can either just isometrically hold here. You may as well be working on your dips as well, just to build that strength up. And I do have a full dip blueprint of this. I'll link it at the end. Next, we're gonna go on to the tuck L-sit. So now when taking the legs out of the battle, we're gonna work on that straight arm strength and your core. Straight arm, lockout, we're gonna bring your knees to your chest and we're gonna hold this. All right, now just like the hanging knee raise, we can slowly take one leg out until we can lock it out, until we can obviously get to the full L-sit. A super common problem that I see is people round their shoulders forward like this. Again, this makes it really hard for me to lift my legs up, and we want to just do the opposite. So we're gonna pull the shoulders back, sit back into our hands, and now we've got all this movement. Like even if I don't lift, I can kick. If I do this, that's as far as I can kick up. So set the shoulders, sit back, legs will come up much easier. This is obviously the first L-sit we're gonna work towards, but I would love for you to be able to progress from there and do it on flat ground, which is way harder. The L-sit is honestly a heap of fun. You just have to get past that initial learning curve of how to do it, how to get strong enough for it. But once you get that, this is an absolute foundational movement done. We can start going into some harder things. I've got that dip video, I've got the L-sit to shoulder stand video. Go check them out.